Here's how this rolls, okay? So I have played quite a bit of Lorcana. I've gone to several store championships, 3 this season. Thomas over here hasn't played a lick of this game, and he
I'm hungry.
briefly knows the system and the inking system and stuff. Ben has gone to
2 events, 1 was canceled.
It's true, but we played quite a bit of draft. So Ben's familiar a lot more with the limited format. And we are going to be going over some of the exciting new cards in Shimmering Skies. Is that the set we're on? I think that's the name. Yeah, we're going to be ranking them. Okay, here's the ranking system. So we got 1 through 5 with a 0 and a 6 as options, where 0 is like quite possibly the worst card you've ever seen, and 6 being quite possibly the best card you've ever seen. And then everything in between is kind of what you would expect. With 5 being it will see play in a top meta deck or in several meta decks. 4 being it will see play in a meta deck. 3 is it could see play sometime in the future. You know, it's not bad. It's definitely good. I think it has potential kind of idea. 2 is it's a card, it exists. And 1 is it's pretty garbage. So let's give it a whirl. Okay, so here we have Genie.
Am I starting us up?
Yes, you'll start us off. I'm going to read the card out loud. Yeah, because you know the least, exactly. So Genie is a 4-mana uninkable. Do you remember what uninkable means?
I don't remember anything, Alex.
Okay, so like Magic the Gathering, you have lands.
Mm-hmm.
In Lorcana, you put down any card of your choice face down, and it becomes a land. And you ignore its original text and stuff. It's now just a land.
Mm.
Okay, but if it's uninkable, then you can't do that with the card.
Mm.
Right? So it cannot become a land.
Okay.
So this is a 4-mana uninkable. 2 attack, 4 health, and it quests for 2. Your goal is to get up to 20.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
It has evasive, so only other characters with evasive can punch him. And when you play him, you'll draw a card. Thomas, how good do you think this card is?
2.
Do you care to elaborate, or you're just gonna...
His powers seem terrible.
Um,
The quest seems good. 2 quests seems good. I mean, if you're just going based on, like, actual character power, I mean, he might be the most powerful character ever, right? He just got unchained, I think, which means can he just fulfill any wish he wants for himself? You know, he could just, like, take over the world easy.
Ben, how good do you think this card is?
So the worst part about this deck is, or this card, is the fact that it's uninkable. The evasive and draw a card are really, really powerful, along with the 2 lore gained.
Who knew? Not me.
Thomas knows less about this game than he does Marvel Snap. Because we've done this video with Marvel Snap, I think, twice now. And so now Thomas knows something about Marvel Snap, but this one he's still on, like, ground -1.
Yeah, so evasive makes it really, really hard to hit and is really annoying. And with 2 lore, that's, like, pretty good. 2 lore gain on an evasive creature at a 4-drop is pretty annoying for your opponent. I would probably say this card will be a 4, will be in some meta decks, but the fact that it's uninkable makes it really hard to incorporate into other meta decks.
Yeah, great thoughts. I think Ben is fairly on track. It's definitely at least a 4. We compare this to, of course, Merlin Rabbit, which is a 4-mana uninkable, 2/3/1, so worse stats. And Rabbit doesn't have evasive either. However, Rabbit is whenever he comes into play and whenever he leaves play, you draw a card, which is really powerful combined with bounce effects where you return Rabbit to your play, and it's like...
Wait, like Rabbit from Winnie the Pooh?
Merlin Rabbit.
Oh.
Yeah.
From The Sword and the Stone.
From The Sword and the Stone.
I didn't
Your
think...
favorite Disney movie.
I didn't think Winnie the Pooh was Disney. Is it?
Yeah, there's Winnie the Pooh cards.
Oh.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, my favorite card's a Winnie the Pooh card.
Oh, yeah, there's Piglet cards.
Yep.
Okay, are we done?
Piglet Knight.
So we'll be going through 10 cards. This is the first one. I think so here's the thing. This will definitely be played in place of Rabbit in aggro decks and more aggressive decks. I don't think it's going to replace Rabbit in normal Ruby Amethyst, but it could eventually. I think this card is really, really good. I'm going to go with, like, it's going to be around for a while. I'm just going to stick with, I'm going to go 4.5.
Hey, that wasn't even on your ranking.
I'm going to go with 5. I'm gonna go with 5. I think this will be in a tier 1 meta deck. That's my prediction.
Okay.
I could be wrong about that. Okay, Thomas.
This guy, I know him from the Big Hero 6 movie.
Indeed. I
Um,
don't know if he's gonna be in a tier 1.
he's like really smart. But he dies in the fire.
Yeah.
Oh, spoilers.
Holy.
I mean,
Don't
it's
worry.
been like how many years?
His idea is to die here as well. So during your opponent's turn, if he dies, he becomes a land, and you get to take the top card of your deck, and that becomes a land. So you get 2 land for free
That's really sad.
when he dies.
And it's like a really dumb plot point, the reason that he got killed in the first place. Like, anyways,
No, it's great.
whatever.
You're gonna make me cry.
No, it's pretty dumb. This is at least a 4. Yeah, yep, and that's because it can create lots of energy land. Ink.
I mean, that is the best part of the card, probably. So, okay.
I'm trying to remember what the base stats for a 3 unit is.
3 mana Inkable is a 3/3/2.
3/3/1. 3/3/2?
Yep.
Okay. So this has the stats of a 2-cost unit.
Yes. A 2 mana Inkable would be 2/2/2.
Okay.
Or other varying stats, but yeah.
A 3 mana 2/2/2. I believe the fast pace of this card is good for the color he's in. Although I don't know much about colors because I'm mostly
Limited, yeah.
draft. But I would definitely say this card's good. Like, because getting ink on the board is really important. And the fact that you get a unit on the board and then you get to add 2 ink to your inkwell eventually. Well, but that does imply that they have to kill it on their turn. And that's like the one issue I'm seeing from that. But that also means that you can just quest for 2 forever. I'm gonna lean towards 5 on the multiple tier 2 side,
Okay.
not on the tier 1 though.
Okay. Yeah, I think those are good thoughts. I'm not as heavy on it. But right, you're totally right. You slap this down on turn 3, and it's going to quest for 2 every single turn. And they really want to kill it, but they really don't. And so it's kind of spooky. Here's the thing, though. I don't think Sapphire needs the aggression, right? Sapphire plays down Tamatoa, they play down Lucky Dime, and they win the game, and they gain 14 lore in like 2 turns, right? And so I don't really know how much this actually helps their color. And so I'm going to go with a 3 for now, saying it's definitely a good card. And in any other color, it would definitely for sure see play. I just don't know if it's needed in Sapphire. I could be wrong about this. Also, the uninkable ability is really scary for Sapphire because Sapphire already runs so many unink abilities. So I'm going to go with a 3 for now, even though it's clearly a very good card. I just don't know if it really fits in any of the decks.
I agree. Yep.
I was thinking specifically of Lucky Dime, and I'm like, well, you have to get to 7 somehow.
That's true. That's true. You do. I mean, they do run several ramp cards, obviously. Yeah. Most of the decks, but yeah.
Who the heck is this?
This is Raya from Raya and the Last Dragon.
Not.
What is that?
I haven't ever seen the movie.
No. Can you read it to me?
Yes. So she's a 4 mana Inkable, so this one you can play down as a land, right? 3/3/2. Once during your turn, whenever a card is put into your inkwell, whenever you get a land, you can ready another chosen character of yours. So when they quest or when they punch something, they become exerted, and they can't do anything for the rest of their turn. They could be punched and stuff on your opponent's turn. So this, whenever you play down an ink, once per turn, you can ready them up. But they can't quest for the rest of this turn. But they get readied up so they're like safe from being challenged and stuff.
Two. Just because it's from a movie, I don't know. Yeah, 2. No explanation needed? Question mark.
So we did just go over that this has the stats of a 3-cost Inkable.
Did we?
Yeah.
Yeah, 3 mana Inkable is 3/3/2.
But I think not. So red yellow is the aggro deck colors, from my understanding. And okay. I thought you ran freaking what's his name? And,
Purple yellow is aggro.
oh, I thought it was Maui and
I mean, Maui's broken good. It's not done in an aggro list. Maui doesn't quest.
oh, that's true. Anyways, this would be. Oh, it's so interesting. It's probably between 3 and 4 for me. It's a pretty. That's an ability that is on some other cards. The thing about this is it allows you to quest for at least 2 if she's on the board, and then you always want to be inking every turn, and that card
So
can't
it's always
be
going
hit.
to be. Well, it's already another chosen character.
Oh, another?
Yeah.
Okay. But even then, probably a 1 or 2 lore, and that unit can no longer be punched when they quest, and that unit could have a questing ability. So I could definitely see this being like a 4. I'm probably going to lean towards 3.
Do you consume ink?
You tap just like Magic
You
or
just tap
cards, yeah. So this costs 4 land to play down, right?
Yeah.
I think this is going to be a 5.
Okay.
I think specifically because of Ruby Sapphire with the Queen that's coming around. So the Queen's ability is you tap her, and you look at the top 4 cards of your deck, and you play down an item that costs 3 or less down for free. And so with her on turn 3, and then you play Rhea on turn 4, and then you tap the Queen, place down an ink, tap the Queen again.
She can't quest again, but she could punch.
So yeah, the Queen can tap, right? It's an exert
okay.
ability. So she could use her ability twice. And I think that is very strong. So I think it's going to be running Ruby Sapphire. It could be just so the ability is super consistent. But I think it's going to be I think it's going to be seen in the best meta deck right now. I think this is going to be played in Ruby Sapphire. So I think it's a 5.
When does halftime end?
Halftime is typically
Over by now.
no, it's
Okay, so Hades has vendetta against Zeus and the other people. And he does a pretty poor job in. Well, I mean, he captures the gods in the movie, right? And Alex hasn't read it to me, so I don't know what it is.
So you're gonna tap him, and you're gonna spend 3 ink, and you're gonna banish one of your characters, and you banish a chosen character of your choice.
Ooh, that's really powerful. Obviously, that's a 5. I have no idea if that's like a common ability or not, but we're gonna say he's a 5.
Banishing chosen characters tend to be a pretty powerful effect.
Yeah, but I'm leaning towards 1. Having to banish one of your own units and pay for the ability and tap Hades and he's uninkable really is just a big line
So I
of
think
really bad
I low-key
abilities.
think this card is a 0. There are like several. This card's so bad. There's a 4-cost card. This card is ludicrously bad. It's like insane to me that they printed this as a legendary. It's so bad. It is such a bad legendary. So there's a 4-cost card. There's 2 4-cost uninkable spells, okay? And one says banish one of your characters, banish chosen character. And this is effectively 8 for that, and then he's gonna die.
Yeah.
Right? He's not gonna live. He's not gonna live. His stat line is not good enough to live. And if he even lives that turn, what if you play him down and then he just dies? He's just a horrible static unit.
He doesn't even quest for anything.
And then the other card is just opponent chooses a character to banish. So you don't even have to banish one of your characters. The opponent just gets to choose which of those characters. Point being, this effect is seen in 2 cards, which are half the price to get this effect, and you don't have to wait a turn. Anyway, this card is just like
And be
bad.
prepared is a full board clear. So clearing your board and theirs for 8 as well.
for 7.
For 7. So
Yeah.
it's cheaper too. Like
Yeah. And this you have to wait
and
to do.
that's why I said 5.
Yeah, I think it's one of the worst legendaries that has been printed.
Yeah, I'm thinking about, I was like, maybe it could be useful in limited because direct removal is really good.
Direct removal is very good.
And so maybe limited, it's like a 3. Like legitimately,
Yeah,
it's still that bad. But
this
in
card
its
will
best
never-
format, it's like
It's still not that
ugh.
good. This card will never see play. It's a 1 at best. Holy.
Could be a 5 though.
Alex doesn't know.
Okay, so this card, Thomas, uninkables, because apparently I just chose tons of uninkables. Okay, 3 mana uninkable, 2/3/1. 2 mana, but you don't exert it, so you can do this as many times as you want. You're gonna choose and discard a card from your hand, but you get 1 lore. So if I had 4 mana left over, I could spend 4 mana, discard 2 cards, and gain 2 lore.
I thought you said it didn't spend the mana.
You spend the mana, you just don't tap her, which means you can do it multiple times.
Oh, she's OP. Wait a
Okay.
minute. Do you... So, oh, okay. You only get 1
So
lore.
effectively, you turn your cards into lore.
Mm-hmm. That seems really good. Last time I thought a card was good, though, you guys said it was 0. We'll say 4.
Okay.
I'm getting a nod of approval. That's good.
Sure.
So this card struggles for me because, so being a Madam Mim card, that means it's designed to kind of go with like the rabbits and the Merlin
That's fine.
rabbits.
That's only
thing.
true if it bounces things.
Okay, I
Yeah.
guess.
Just happens to be the same
Okay.
person that bounces things.
And same color.
And same color.
um,
But completely, yeah.
I just kind of connect them in my head. Okay.
That's fair.
I struggle with this card because it's 3 costs on Inkable, and it's only good near the end of the game. If you play this at the beginning, its stats aren't good, and then you're paying money
To lose cards.
to lose cards, and so it's gonna be bad at the beginning of the game. But it does have a pretty solid win condition towards the end of the game. If you have enough cards, enough card draw, then you could totally play this down, pay 2 mana, delete my entire hand, and just
2 mana for each card.
for each card.
Yeah.
And threaten lethal. I'd probably put it at a 2 or a 3 because of that, but I think it just struggles too much on being an uninkable and only being good near the end of the game. I'll probably lean towards 2.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
I
And
forgot you
honestly,
had a discard.
yeah, you do have to discard, and that's a Ben's thoughts are exactly right. And so the place we're theorizing this could fit in is Sapphire, the ramping color, with this card, so that way at the end of the game you have tons of leftover and it could be a game finisher kind of idea, right? That's the idea, exactly as you said. It can be a game finisher to finish off those last few lore you need in Amethyst sometimes and just win the game. I'm going to give it a 3 because I don't think it's going to be good right now, but I could see that potential existing in the future. Here's my problem, okay? If you play it down and you do the effect twice, that's 7 mana, discard 2 cards, gain 2 lore. Uninkable. You know what card exists? A 2 mana uninkable action called Gathering Wisdom and Knowledge that says gain 2 lore. So you do the exact same effect for 2 lore, for 2 mana, instead of discarding 2 cards and 7 mana. It just seems a bit much to ask that you're going to need up to like 12 or 14 ink. I don't know, maybe Blurple goes crazy and you do have that ink and you do have those cards and it can just finish games, because you can slap this down and gain 4 or 5 lore on a turn. I just don't feel like it's that realistic. So I'm going to go with a 3 because I think it does have potential, because that effect of uninteractable lore gain is very good. But at the same time, I just think like there's better options, and I just don't think it's gonna work out. Okay, this is our first action we're looking at.
This is so cool.
You get one of 2 options. You can either ready a chosen item, or you can ready chosen robot character, and they can't quest for the rest of that turn.
Well, I mean, if you've ever seen the movie, this guy is like OP. And it only costs 1 and it's inkable.
The stakes are not high if you get this one wrong, Thomas. If you
It's a
add
6.
this to your deck.
That's a 6.
No, it's not 6. It's a It's more of a 5 than the Hades one was. I'll say 5.
You're a lot closer. So ready chosen item. Oh, wait. Oh, this is in the color with Lucky Dime.
It is.
This is in the color with freaking Lucky Dime.
And Ben does know that Lucky Dime is a card, unlike Thomas.
Oh no. I don't remember the exact ability on Lucky Dime. Is it the gain lore equal to another item card?
Equal to the quest value of one of your creatures. Typically that's Tamatoa, who gets +1 lore per item you have out in play. So he consistently gets up to 6 or 7 or more lore.
Yeah, okay.
Well, it depends. 3 to 8.
Because I was looking at this thinking ready chosen item isn't that good from a limited perspective. But the fact that it is in blue, I was thinking like maybe there's one day there'll be enough robot cards. I was leaning towards 3, but because it is in blue, this is a 5 or 6. I'm going to say 5.
I think we're all in agreement with 5. I'm spooked by this card a little bit. Imagine this, okay? They're at 6. They're at 0 lore even. It could happen. They play down a Tamatoa. You already have a Lucky Dime. So Lucky Dime, it's a really expensive item. Costs 7, uninkable. Okay, super expensive. And then you tap it for 2, and then you gain lore equal to the quest value of one of your creatures. So point being, getting 2 Lucky Dimes out on the board is really hard because it's super slow. It costs 7, right? But this allows you to use your 1 Lucky Dime twice. Put down a Lucky Dime. You already have it out. You play down a Tamatoa. Tap Lucky Dime. Gain like 8 lore. Play this for 1. Tap Lucky Dime. Gain 8 lore. That's 16 lore in 1 turn. Uninteractable. Unless they kill the Lucky Dime, right? So I say 5. But I think more because of this card, I think item removal is going to become more and more popular and more important. I think because of that, Ruby Amethyst might not be as good because removing the Lucky Dime is going to be so important. There is a chance this card just isn't good, but I'm not going to... If I was a betting man, I would bet on me being scared of 1 mana, prepare your 7 cost Lucky Dime. Yeah, I think this card's going to be a 5. I think it's going to see play in the Ruby Amethyst. Yep.
Obviously, this is from a movie that has a bird in it. Maleficent. When the character is banished, you may draw... This character is banished, you may draw a card. Does that count if he's been inked?
No. So he has to be in play.
I'm sure there's whole decks around banishing your own people or something. But this is obviously just a 2.
Okay.
Yeah. So this card is clearly meant to go with Hades.
This man's gonna try to pull off a Hades Diablo.
No, this card. So it reminds me a lot of, is it Merfolk Souls or whatever, which is a 1 mana 1/1/1
0/1/1
0
0/1/2.
0/1/2.
When your opponent punches it, they discard a card.
Yeah. Where instead of them discarding a card, you gain a card when this guy dies. This is clearly a good 1-drop, but Merfolk Souls, or whatever it's called.
Merfolk is an emerald.
Oh, I thought it was also purple. I'm like, this feels just like a little too similar to one of the best 1-drops already.
That's really good.
And since it's so similar, I would assume it's going to be at least a 4. But it is a little weird. It's a little hard to be like, you lose a lot of board control by playing down a unit with no punching ability on the first turn. But Lorcana is weird where you're both trying to have hand control and board control, so you need a lot of cards in your hand. And so this is a card that goes onto the board, but also isn't for board control in any way. I'd probably put it at 4. I don't think it's like insane by any means, but it is good and will be used.
I think it's pretty dang good. If I had to pick between 4 or 5, I would lean towards 5. So the thing about Lorcana is that in constructed, you don't care as much about a good 1-drop. So the fact that this draws as a card is really, really powerful. We get guaranteed value, and it can quest until they kill it. It's like... So I think this will be a 4 of an aggro dex. And I think it will see play in Ruby Amethyst if Ruby Amethyst is good. I think it could... Yeah, this card is better Cusco. But here's the thing. There's 2 other Amethyst 1-drops that already have similar draw card effects. And I don't know if it replaces either one of those. But I think it's really, really good.
There's 5 minutes in the third quarter left.
Okay.
Hey, it's him again. He died a second time.
We'll go through this one really quickly.
6.
Okay.
Oh my. This guy is really good. Well, Blue is a little bit gimmicky, as we've kind of explained, that you're trying to get Lucky Diamond Tamatoa to work. This guy feels like another big drop for those later turns. Where if you have, like... Because I read this as a 6... Like, at least a 6/6/3, which is kind of crazy. And that's, like, the minimum you're going to get in a blue deck. From my guess. Alex was estimating that you'd have 6 items out at play near the end of the game in that. So that would be a 6/9/9/3, which is going to just give you board control completely. So I'm going to say 5.
So I'm going to say that it's... I don't think Sapphire needs a big drop. It already has the late game that it wants. Mm-hmm. And so because of that, once again, I think it's awkward because the card is clearly very good and the stat line is clearly very good. I just don't think it will see any play because there's just better options, aka Tamatoa. And obviously other cards. So I'm going to go with 3. I don't think it's going to see any play right now, but I think it is a good card. I just think Sapphire has better options.
How many more?
Okay, we're going to do this one is the last one. There's one more after this, I think, actually. Okay, so this character, it's whack. When it's tapped, whenever a opposing character punches you, they get -3 attack unless they pay 3 energy.
Wow. That's pretty good. I'm gonna say that's a 5.
Yeah, no, that's really, really freaking annoying. That is assuming you get it out early enough. It doesn't punch back for, like, anything, but it's just going to quest for 2, like, a minimum of 3 turns, unless they pay that amount. And then even then, it's going to be a pretty specific condition that they're going to have a guy that will punch for 4, and then they have to lose, like... And if it's punching for 4 as a 3-drop, it probably only has, like, 1 health, so it's, like, lose your creature.
Madam M. Fox laughing, one of the best cards of all time.
Lose your creature, don't get to play down anything for this turn in order to stop me for questing for 2. I'm going to say this is... I don't know much about yellow, though, so I'm going to say 4.
Sure, I think it's either a 4... I'm going to stay with 4 because I think there's an instant 4 of in aggro decks. I just still don't think aggro decks are going to be right there. The thing is, like, Sisu and Brawl can take it out without having to challenge it. Yeah. I think this card is crazy, though. I think it's definitely the best legendary in the set rebuild. And I think it could see play in some Amber Steel stuff. Okay, this card, we're just going to talk about this card.
6.
Thomas wants to talk about this card. He thinks it's the coolest looking card ever.
Okay, I think this card is absolutely garbage. Okay, this card is so
6.
bad. Okay, it's like...
Wait, I want to... Oh, whenever this character quests you may draw a card. You choose and discard a card to deal 1 damage to a chosen character or location. If a pirate character card was discarded, deal 3 damage to that character location instead.
Okay, here's the problem with this card.
Oh, it's so bad.
It seems all well and good. Dealing 3 direct damage sounds great. Here's the thing. This card exists, and it's inkable, and it has +1 more attack and +1 more health. and the effect is on play, and whatever, like, this card is just better, and it's not seeing very much, if any, play. So the other card is just awful.
But there's coconuts.
He's
That's
very
true.
cool artwork. Coconuts do win.
And like this could be worth it if it was like 5 cost
That's so-
uninkable.
Why
or
is it
6
uninkable?
cost inkable.
Why is it an inkable? Anyway,
Like-
thanks for joining us. That's all our cards. We're gonna head
Like,
out.
comment, subscribe.
This has been fun. I love Lorcana. I hope you enjoyed hearing our thoughts about some of these interesting cards in this new set. I think these are some of the more fun cards that have been revealed, and I'm excited to see the rest of the cards in the set.